Glam Gals, thank you so much for clicking on my video and joining me today to learn how to achieve the beautiful neutral winter look. I'm going to be using these 4 gorgeous eyeshadows to achieve the look here. So thanks for joining me today. Please click subscribe, click that bell button to make sure that you're notified whenever I put out new videos. And if you have any suggestions or want to see something, just comment below and let me know what you're thinking. So let's get started. Okay, so first we're going to start off with our primer. We want to prime our face to make all of the imperfections go away, fill in those pores and those fine lines and wrinkles. So I get a nice little dab. Heat it up with your fingers and then rub in a circular motion to make sure you get all of the pores and all of the wrinkles filled in with the primer. And then I'm going to go into my foundation. So I just take the foundation and put some on my finger and dab it around so it goes on evenly. And then I take a brush and I blend. After I apply my foundation with my brush, I then like to go in with my beauty blender and just take off any excess product. And this really shears out the coverage and makes your skin look flawless. After I do that, then I like to do my Undereye Corrector and my concealer under my eyes and get my eyes the same color as my face. So I have my Mary Kay Undereye Corrector and then my Perfecting Concealer, and I am the color light beige. I like to put this on with a brush. So this is my IT Cosmetics Smoothing Concealer Brush. All right, so I start with my Undereye Corrector and I just dab one little dot right there in the middle. And then I take my concealer and I make my marks like this, okay? So I blend both the colors together, my Undereye Corrector and my concealer. That way I don't have any sort of discoloration with my face to my eyes. So I just go in and I stipple. I don't swipe, I don't swirl, I stipple, and this keeps it from settling inside of my lines and getting any brush marks. Get right up underneath of your lash line and just stipple it out, blend it out towards your cheek. And then I like to bring it down a little bit, that way. And then also do your eyelid, because your eyelid, obviously you can see there's a color difference between my eye and my cheek. So I even like to do my eyelid. Again, I'm just stippling it. I don't want any brush marks. Okay, after I do my under eye concealer, then I will go in and prime my eyes. My favorite is my Urban Decay eyeshadow primer, and this is in the color Eden. Again, I am just stippling this so there is full coverage all over my eyelid. This color here really brightens up the eyelid and allows for your colors of eyeshadow to really pop. If you don't have an eye primer, you can most certainly use your concealer. Put your concealer on there and then set it with a translucent powder. After I prime my eyes, I then like to go in with like a neutral nude color eyeshadow and set my eye primer. So I'm just going to take this color here, it's Biscotti by Mary Kay, and I'm just going to take another concealer brush, anything that's flat, tap it in there and just tap to set your eye primer. after you set your eye primer, I want you to find your fluffiest brush for your eyes, okay? This is the IT brushes by Ulta, and this is the Effortless Crease. All right, so I am going to go into my crease with the lightest brown here, and this is actually called Hazelnut. So I'm just tapping the end of it, swirling it around there to get my color on it. I'm going to tap off any excess, and I'm going to start on the outside, and I'm going to go in my crease, and I'm going to make like windshield wiper motions, okay? And I want this to be in my crease. You're not pressing down really hard on your brush, you're just lightly touching your eye, and you're doing windshield wiper motions, and then I also do like little swirls, okay? So go in to your crease. And then after I do a step, I like to step back and look in the mirror to see, make sure I can actually see that color and that it's actually coming through. And if it's not, then I go just a little bit higher. And once there's no more color adding to my eye, I know that there's not much on my brush anymore. So then I like to go around the edges and do swirl marks to make sure you buff that out. You don't want any harsh lines between your eyeshadow color, and you want it to just like fade away. So you do that by lightly pressing, lightly touching, and doing swirl marks. Okay, so that's nice and soft. Now we're going to do the other eye the same way. So once you have your crease color done and you have it buffed out really nice, then we're going to go to the next darkest shade, and this is Cinnebar. And you're going to go from a fluffy brush to a little bit, still fluffy, but a little bit more precise. All right, so this is the IT Ultra brush, and it is the Absolute Shadow brush. We're gonna tap off the excess, and we're gonna stay on the outer lid, and we are going to come in and do some swirl marks. And just lightly put that on that outside corner. Again with windshield wipers and swirls. And then we do the other eye. So once I get my second color on, I like to go back to my first fluffy brush, and I don't put any more product on it. I just like to go around and blend to make sure those lines are really soft. And you don't press in, like don't press and do that stuff. Just lightly touch your eyelid with your brush. And on the outside edges, I'm just swirling this brush to where it's really softening those edges. And then I come down on my lid and I really kind of fade in the lighter color to meet the darker color, right there in the middle. As you can see, this one is softer. And then I come in and do the other side too. So once you get those colors all nice and buffed out to where they all blend seamlessly together, we're going in a little bit deeper with a more precise brush. So this is the IT Cosmetics, the small shadow brush. So then we're going to go in with our darkest shade, and we are going to tap off the excess, and then we're going to go on the outer corner. The outer V is what we call it. So I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to lightly press the product down, and I'm going to make a V on the outside of my outer corner from pressing. Once I press the product in, then I will go in with my very small circular motions. Very small circles to help blend that color in with the others. Then we'll do the other side. Okay, so once you got your outer V completed with your precise brush, we're gonna go back to that fluffy brush from the very beginning. And we're gonna go into this mid-tone, this hazelnut here. And we're just gonna pick up just a little bit of product, tap off the excess, and now we're going to come into the crease and do some swiping motions, just to blend that darker color in a little bit better with the other colors we have there. But we're not, because that is our crease color, we're not messing up any of the other colors, we're just blending it in. We're just getting all the colors to meld together all nice and even with no harsh lines. So I just go in and lightly do some circular motions, windshield wipers. Do the same on the other side. Okay, so once we have our fluffy brush where we've blended in that darkest color, we are then going to do a little bit of a brow highlight. Okay, so I take that concealer brush that I use to set my primer, and I go back into my lightest color here. I tap into the product and I bring it up here very lightly under my eyebrow, on my brow bone. So we're just using this color to really highlight the brow bone, and then also making sure that our eyeshadow doesn't go up too high. So we're just putting up here and we're pulling it down just a smidge to make sure that that darker color isn't up too high. All right, after I do that, I like to go back to my fluffy brush and just blend that out right there on the edge. So once we are done with that, I like to go in with a little bit fluffy brush, but not the biggest fluffy brush. So this is the one that we did, the Cinnebar, the middle brown, this orangey brown. And I like to go in underneath of my, the bottom lash line. So I'm just gonna pick up just a tiny bit of product here, knock off the excess, and you're going to look up and you're going to put this right into your bottom lash line. And I like to stay on the outside corner and slowly work my way to my inner corner. That way the darkest of the product is on the outside corner and I'm working my way in and pulling it in, but it's not as dark. Do the same for the other side. So after I do that, I like to go in with my angle brush and use the dark brown tone. And put it right in my bottom lash line and pull in. So if I'm looking for something a little bit more fun to do, I like to take this new liquid eyeshadow from Mary Kay. This is the color Pink Starlight. And so it comes out with a little doe foot. So I will just hold onto it and then tap my brush into the end of it to pick up the color. Get it on my brush, and then I just like to put it right there in the center of my eye. This adds a little bit of sparkle, really brightening up that inner eyelid. Once I get that tapped on there, I just use my finger to blend it in with the other colors. Yeah, just some little extra fun. Now I'll work on my contouring and my highlighting. So I like to go in with my contour shade, get a nice contour brush, tap it in there, knock off any excess. And you want to be right above your ear, and you want this angle from your lip to right above your ear. That is where the natural hollow of your cheek is, okay? So we just want to press this product right here. All right, and I like to do the other side just to get the most of this excess product, because there's a whole lot of product on there. So I just kind of like touch it right there to get it set. I'll then take any extra and do this bottom part of my chin. That way it doesn't appear as I have, you know, double chin going on. It really darkens that and really hides it when you contour your chin like that. I then like to come up my jawline, all the way up to right below my ear. All right, so this will really set your jawline. All right, so I just kind of blend it out just a tad. Go right up to your ear and then pull it down. Blend it by pulling it down. So once I have a lot of the product off of my brush, I will then go back into my contour on my cheeks and really blend that out to where it's not such a harsh line. So I try to make sure I keep pulling it down. I don't really want it to go up. I want it, but I don't want it to go too far down. I just lightly pull it down. And so as far as coming in, I don't want to come past this high arch of my brow or that outside line of my iris and my eye. I kind of want to keep it here back. I don't want to bring it too close to my mouth. So you can make faces like this. Now when it comes to contouring your forehead, I think it really depends on what kind of face shape you have. And that determines how you contour your forehead. So if you have a really round face, you're not going to want to squish your face and make it even more round. So you're really only going to contour the sides and around the temples. So if you have a really long face, then you are going to want to contour the top of your head, because anything that you're contouring which is darkening, it's taking it back or not making it as bold, if that makes sense, or making it look as though it's got shadow and depth to it. And so whenever you have a long face, you want to shorten what is highlighted, so you'll contour the top part of your forehead. All right, so if you have a round face, you're not going to want to do that. So I feel as though I have a good oval face, so I just lightly go in around my forehead. I don't do a whole lot of contouring on my forehead just because I feel as though I have a good forehead shape anyway, and it doesn't necessarily need it. But I do like to bring up a little bit of that bronzing color up to my forehead. Okay, so once you contour that, then we have our highlight color, and we'll just go in with our fan here, and we'll lightly touch that onto our fan, like so, and fan it right onto the top of our cheekbone. Okay, with this warm winter look, I like to go a little bit more on the peachy side with my blush. So I'm going to pick up my blush brush, and I'm going to use this color here. It's Juicy Peach, and I'm not a huge fan of peachy colors, but whenever I do warm looks, I want my cheeks to be warm as well. So we're going to pick up some. It's very pigmented, so make sure you knock off that excess. You don't want to have boom orange cheeks, but we're going to lightly go in here and touch and get the bulk of the product kind of on each cheek, lightly touching. And then once you feel as though you've got the bulk of it off of the brush, then we'll go in with small swirls. So you want to find the apples of your cheeks by smiling, and I like to stay kind of on the outside edge of that apple and blend out into our contour and into our highlight. I don't like doing it right on the top of the apples of your cheeks. I think that makes your face look bigger and really makes your cheeks look a little unnatural. So I like to stay right here on the outside edge of my apple of my cheek and buff it back, like so. You can also do a little bit on your nose, a little bit on your forehead, just to pull that color around. Next up, I'm going to throw on a lip color. So for my lip, I like to go a little bit nude. So I'm going to do a light nude lip liner and a pretty nude lip. This is Bashful You. So when doing lip liner, I like to start in the middle and make an X. This will really accentuate your Cupid's bow. So once you have your little X drawn, then we're going to continue the outside line of your lip. And then take your lipstick. All right, so then I'm just gonna pop on some eyelashes and then we'll be all set. Okay, so once I get my lashes on, then I like to go in with a mascara and just really kind of meld my lashes in with the fake lashes. It doesn't take a whole lot, just a little bit to kind of take your lashes and stick them together with the fake lashes. All right, and last step would be my brows. All right, so I like to take my brow definer pencil and I start at the bottom and I like to do my brows kind of far away, because if you are up close with anything, even your eyeshadow, and you're up close and you're doing it and then it looks great and then you take a step back and you're like, whoa. So I like to kind of step back and do my brows, fill them in, and do small upward strokes right here in the middle to kind of build that up. And then small little strokes to fill them in. I just follow the natural brow. If you do not have brow hairs, then I will help you achieve the brow look without looking like you took a template and threw in some eyeshadow and now you have these boxy eyebrows. We don't want any of that. So if you need help in building your eyebrow from scratch, just let me know and I will work with you to help you achieve the look that you're going for without being so dramatic and so fake looking. Just comment below and let me know. And then just finish it off by taking your spoolie brush and just blending in those hairs with the color that you just put on your brows. I brush them up in the center and then I brush them out until I get to my arch, and then I pull them down. So up in the center and then pull them to the arch and kind of an upward pull to the outside, and then I pull them down. All right, last but not least is setting powder. So I take just a little bit of translucent powder. I knock off the excess in the lid, and then I just lightly dust and finish off with setting spray. And there you have it, ladies. So, if y'all have any questions, be sure to comment below, click subscribe, or click on the bell so you can be notified whenever I put out new tutorials. I'm hoping to do these probably about every week. If you have any suggestions about what you're wanting me to do to show you, to help you, then comment below and let me know.